Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
It's Tuesday.
Yay! We're so glad you're here. It's our sophomore year of the show. Did you know that? We're so mature now.
Oh, we are super mature. Definitely big man on campus, for sure.
I don't think I was ever big man on campus, literally or figuratively. I'm just, no.
Oh, no. All right. Well, welcome to CK and GK. We are the how-to show that tells you all of the things that we had to learn and tries to save you some of the embarrassment that we went through.
And all the anxiety that goes into all of the logistical things. That's what we're here for, to try and help you out with that.
That's right. We're here to help you with your anxiety. I don't know if it's to lower it or raise it. We don't know, but we're going to help you.
I'm hoping that we lower it, at least in some instances.
With me is Caitlin, but we're going to change her name to Wi-Fi because she and I are feeling a strong connection.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jenny does not like that, Raymond. Because she's Marie Barone. I don't like that, Raymond. That show was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And you know, I love Phil.
Yes,
so.
absolutely.
Love Raymond.
Okay, so let's do some shout outs. I need to start with this one because my geriatric millennial heart is pounding even talking about this because this was the coolest thing. So
this is not even a shout out. This is a shout it from the mountaintop out.
Right. I need to give a shout out to Lisa freaking Loeb. Are you kidding me? Holy crap. So here's what happened. I send a tweet to HEB.
Those of you who are listening outside of Texas, This is the grocery store that really should be running the world.
HEB is wonderful. We love them. I send a tweet to HEB. I'm talking about how the music that they're playing there, you have reached a certain age when the music in the grocery store is yes, this song is so good. And you just are happy to be in the grocery store. And I used to just walk around the grocery store with headphones in, but at HEB, I take one out now because I can listen to the music. So I'm tweeting at HEB saying that I love their music and that they're playing. And I said something to the effect of, I don't know if I need to go get a walker or one of their toy karaoke microphones so that I can sing in the middle of the produce section. And HEB tweets back at me are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do an encore for us?
That was my timer reminding me to say happy birthday to my friend Jennifer. So shout out to you.
Happy birthday. So anyway, like I was saying, shrimp is the fruit of the sea. Nope, that's from Forrest Gump. Okay, so I get a response back from HEB saying, are you going to do it? Let's make it happen. What are the songs? So I was well, here's a few songs. And then I said, and any woman my age worth her salt knows every line to Stay by Lisa Loeb. And I think I added her in this. I think I called her out. I tagged her in the post. Anyway, she liked it, okay?
Liked it!
She liked it. And then Jenny responds with, you say I only buy what I want to.
I only buy what I want to. I don't use a list.
Wow, that was pretty good.
I don't stick to a budget. I just... Sorry.
Somehow ADHD has to get woven in there for my impulse purchases. Yeah. So then she sees Jenny's reply and likes that too. And then later on, when I tweeted about how I could, happily pass away as a geriatric millennial woman because she liked my tweet, she found it again and she liked it again. So, Lisa Loeb, I love you. That's the end of that. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right. Do you have others? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I want to talk about something I'm super excited about. So if you are a teacher or you happen to know a teacher, I am so excited about a project that I am watching build in real time. So this is long_view_learning on Instagram, or learning for the long view. It is a global revolution started by teachers. Longview really believes that teachers, we are the agents of change in education. And our career is a thinking job. And we just have to take it back. We just have to be in charge of what education is. Longview is looking at how teachers can be effective change agents for both kids and for education. They're starting with math, but the idea is to change education as a whole. On their Instagram page, there's all kinds of lessons about how to teach math differently, how to reason through math rather than memorize procedures. We want you to find resonance and excitement and passion in your content area, and then explode that into your classroom. And math is just a start. So long_view_learning.
Cool. I love that. Obviously, being an educator myself, like we're the ones who are boots on the ground, and we're the ones with the knowledge of what students can do and what they're capable of. And so absolutely having that belief that teachers are the agents of change is so, so, so special and important. I love that. So go follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also need to shout out a few people because we started a Patreon. And
yes, we did.
We officially have some patrons. So our very first patrons on Patreon are...
Patrons or patrons?
I think wanting patron and being a patron are two different things. I'm putting that out there.
Well, it is Friday afternoon. I mean, Tuesday morning.
No judgment either way. So our first patrons on Patreon, Ann B, Jennifer S, and Ariella A. We love you. Thank you so much for supporting our show. And we appreciate you. And if you want to get some just a little extra insight into what we're doing every day with the show, please head over to our Patreon, and there will be a link on the blog page that goes along with this episode.
And don't forget, my offer still stands. If you would like to have our logo tattooed on your body, I will pay for it.
Wow, that's extra.
All right. Every week we sit down and we talk about what's going on in our lives and what's going on in the world. You can hear my dogs fighting in the background. I want to talk about what's going on in the world of sports.
Yay!
Starting with Selena.
Selena.
Starting with Serena.
Como la flor.
Some of my kids were there to see her play. They came back and they said
That's
it was
so cool. This woman, it was an honor and a thrill to have been the same age as her, and watching her come up in all of this was just, she's 41 or something, so she's just a little older than us. We would have been in high school together had we gone to high school at the same time. So it's just very cool to know that there's someone who's your age who's accomplished so much. So I mean, we got to watch everything that she did, all of those accomplishments.
Okay, wait. Pause. Cool or depressing?
No, amazing. Are you kidding?
Like, hey, I set up the coffee machine to go off this morning before I went to bed last night. That's a great accomplishment.
You know what? I don't view it that way. There was a time where all of the professional sports players were older than us, and then there was a time when we were the same age as them, and now we're at the back end of that where we're not the same age as them, and they're all younger than us, and they all look like babies.
Or half our age.
Right, exactly. And I understand what you're saying. That part is depressing. What I think I'm thinking about here is watching her come up on the tennis stage, watching her and her sister, who are relatively similar in age to us, and seeing the progression of their careers in real time, and feeling like this person could be a peer, not tennis wise, not athletic wise, but like just in terms of age. That part is cool. So either way, she's the greatest player of all time, and we're just so thrilled to have gotten to watch. Did you watch the final match? Because I did, and I cried.
Oh my gosh.
I sat there sobbing. Sobbing. Amazing.
So I was looking for some kind of news that could come close to that.
No, there isn't any.
There's nothing. So instead, I just looked for any sports news. And I thought, if you're sitting around at work and you're talking about sports and you have nothing to add besides Serena's the GOAT, how about talking about something completely unrelated?
Yeah, you have to do it.
How about just pivoting the entire conversation, keeping it in the realm of sports, but saying, hey, have you heard about blind football in Uganda?
I'm pretty sure that most people are going to say no.
Yeah, right? And now you get to be the expert in the room.
All right, so lay it on me, because...
Okay, so this actually came out of the Paralympics and sports for individuals with differences.
Love it.
It's football. Soccer. It's really soccer, but, we'll just let him say football. It's football for those who have vision impairments.
Yes.
And there are 3 divisions. There's B1 for those who are totally blind.
Okay.
There's B2 who can see the difference between light and shadow. And there's B3 who have less than 10% functional vision.
Wow.
If you are someone who has more than 10% functional vision, you can still participate in the league if you wear a mask.
Okay. All right.
So they're wearing like sleep masks with like blind football embroidered across the front. It's a sport that is easily accessible to those who cannot see well or at all, because you can talk through where the game is and you can feel around where the ball is.
Oh, wow.
And because it's not flying through the air as much, you can kind of gauge as to where you've kicked it and listen to those around you to hear where it is.
I like that.
It's taking Uganda by storm.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt. To me, the idea of inclusivity in sports is so special that just this story alone, like, I'm definitely clicking on this link and reading about this. This is going to be awesome.
Oh, and there's some great images here. The link that I've included is from CNN. But there's some great images here all about explaining how a match would work, telling the history of the sport. It's fairly new, but what a cool idea to open up a sport to those who haven't had access before, and then also include those in a way that makes it, I don't want to say a level playing field.
No, right.
It's not necessarily that.
Right.
But
it's just
gives
inclusive.
everyone the same beginning.
Right.
Like, oh, you want to play in our league? Cool. Put on an eye mask and you can play with us.
Absolutely. I love that. I love hearing that.
I just love that it's not, hey, we made football, soccer more accessible to those who are blind. No, we're a blind league allowing those who are seeing to play like us.
Right, exactly. That's very cool.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Blind football in Uganda.
I'm into it.
You will sound so worldly.
All right. I can sound worldly.
Thanks, CNN.
Yep. I can also sound very not. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about LeBron James. Here we go. LeBron James signed a 2-year, $97.1 million contract extension with the LA Lakers back in August. This is about a month ago at this point.
That's yucky.
It's yucky.
$97.1
million. Money aside, I do like the things that LeBron James has done in terms of reaching out and providing assistance to people who need it, understanding where he comes from. I don't have anything against LeBron James. Here's why I like this. With this deal, he's now the highest paid player in NBA history. The deal that he signed includes the option for LeBron James to move to a new team in 2024 if he wants to do so. And the reason that they're allowing that is because his son, Bronny, is a top-level high school prospect and could end up drafted into the NBA. And so he wants to be able to play
go where
his son is playing. And so the quote was, wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be. I would do whatever it takes to play with my son for 1 year. It's not about the money at that point. So, I'm sure that they would pay him if he moved to another team, but he'll go wherever his son goes if his son gets drafted. So I thought that was a really cool story. I love the things that LeBron is doing, and so I'm just glad to have that be what comes out of that contract.
And what a cool move for Dad. By saying that, now there are pro teams out there who say, well, let's draft the kid because LeBron James will come to us.
Absolutely.
So he really set his kid up for success.
That's the hope. It also shows just there's a value in family, and he is emphasizing the fact that like the money isn't the concern. He's literally the highest paid NBA player in NBA history. He doesn't need it. He hasn't needed it. He's been in movies, right? Like we've talked about those several times. For him, the value is playing with his son on a team. And so that is so important to see people emphasizing the value of family over other things right now.
That's amazing. Okay. So Serena might be the GOAT, but we did lose a queen this week.
We did. We totally lost a queen this week.
You know, she had reigned more than any other monarch in modern history.
I'm not surprised by that. I mean, she was 25 when she took the throne, and she was 96 when she passed. So that's
right.
Pretty
96,
incredible.
142, 593. Nobody knows exactly how old she was. Some people are conjecturing 96.
We know. It's interesting that, you know, her son, King Charles III, is already 70. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. And I realize that historically the British monarchy does have some issues, right? Like there are some concerns that we are honoring a person who was part of a system that exploited and disenfranchised millions of people and dollars and resources and things like that. And I'm going to acknowledge that here. I will say also that it is a big deal that this is happening. England has had now 2 leadership changes in a week, right? They just put in place a new prime minister, and now they have a king. And so there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of people who are very emotional and attached to their queen. And so this is huge. And I'm sure that unless you're living under a rock, you've heard about this. So it's probably not news, but it is worth pointing out, I think.
Absolutely. And it stirs all kinds of emotions for me because Abigail is Abigail Diana.
Yes.
I mean, I named my daughter after the woman. And so in all of the coverage, there's always some hearkening back to the scandals through which she lived.
It was the Kennedys. The Kennedys were like going to have a dinner with her, and she, you know, extended an invitation to other family members that they wanted, and Jackie Kennedy wanted her sister to come, but her sister was an American divorcee, and so the response that they got was the Queen doesn't have meals with divorcees. And so it was like what? You hear those stories and you're like, I'm sorry, what? And then you see the progression. Arguably, there's more to go with the British monarchy, right? We've seen some pretty horrific things come out with the treatment of Meghan Markle and all of those things. I'm not denying that exists. I am saying we do need to recognize growth when it does happen. The fact that her son is a divorcee we now have a queen consort in England.
Don't even say her name aloud.
I didn't. I said queen consort. You heard what I said. I know you did.
I was just cutting you off before those words escaped your mouth.
Well, and, you know, William marries a woman who, Princess Kate, is not of noble birth. Right. They are of money and stature, but they are not of noble family line. So there is, you know, there has been some
still
progression.
Hope for those like me.
I always liked Harry over William. I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
Oh, well, it's more fun when you don't have to be king.
He's made some questionable choices too, right? Like there was the whole like dressing as a Nazi for Hitler youth sort of thing that happened when we were teenagers for Halloween. Remember that? There's some icky things. There's some icky people in the family. I'm not denying those things, and I'm not denying all of the other horrific things that have come out of the history of the British monarchy. But I do want to, you know, be respectful of a woman who did spend her entire existence in public service.
Service to our country.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do public service when you have that much money that is given to you by your public. But it is A very cool.
It's hard
Yeah.
when every decision that you make
Right.
is this good for the monarchy?
Right.
Is it good for the country?
Right.
And in every piece, that has always been paramount to her.
And
Now,
yeah, never making
like I
a decision
said,
for yourself, always making a decision in the
Right.
interest of the family and in the interest of the future of your country. That's a heavy weight to carry, for sure.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, it stirred all kinds of emotions for me about Diana. And, you know, I was born in that country. I have a little bit of a connection.
You were born there?
Yeah.
What? How did I
Yeah, I
not
was
know
born
this? Where were you born?
Yeah. I was born in Lakenheath. I am an American born abroad, so I do not have dual citizenship.
Right.
I'm eligible for it, but I don't seek it. But my birth certificate is actually issued by the State Department. So should I lose it, it's going to be a real headache to get another
Yeah,
one.
it is. Make sure you hang on to that. Oof.
Yeah.
Any other obsessions that you're currently into right now?
So how about a good one?
Yeah, do it.
How about a good one? Instead of obsessing over coverage of the loss of the Queen. And I am so jazzed because next week is my 20-year high school reunion.
I cannot. I cannot. No.
I am so excited. I loved high school. Okay. I was that girl. I loved high school. I had so much fun. Things were great. I mean, of course there was drama because it's high school, but I had a great time. I somehow weaseled my way into this group of women who are planning our reunion.
Somehow weaseled your way. Get out of here. Get out of here right now. Somehow weaseled my way into.
So the part I am in charge of planning is the football game.
Okay.
So, in Texas, traditionally, high school reunions are planned around homecoming.
Yes. That's why it's called homecoming.
Right.
Everyone...
So rather than having a spring event around the time of graduation, which is what a lot of schools do, we do it at homecoming time. And so my role was planning a tour of the school because, believe it or not, it has changed in 20 years. And then putting together a block of tickets and figuring out who's all going to the game and setting up at the game.
Okay.
I am so excited. I'm like dusting off my leather jacket, which it's going to be 95 degrees, but I'm wearing it anyway.
No.
You know, like I'm stalking all my friends on Facebook. I am so excited about this. Now, there can be anxiety and fear around a reunion, right? Like, you don't look like you did when you were 17. Your life might not have gone down the same path that you had imagined at 17. But I'm okay with it.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
like, you know what? Yeah. I weigh more than I did when I was in high school.
Yeah, who
And-
doesn't?
Right? And yeah, I have a hyphenated last name, not because I wanted to keep my maiden name because I've been married twice, but you know what? It's okay.
Right.
I am so happy. I am so excited to see my friends. I am so excited to go back home and see what's going on and just reconnect with people that I haven't seen in 20 years. So I'm jazzed.
It's interesting that you're talking about this. Mine is also this year. It's supposed to be happening, I believe, this month. But mine is happening in Colorado, and I won't be able to get up there to attend. And so I did go to Colorado in, late July, early August. I was there specifically to see family, and I really only saw family. So, there is a part of me that would go and visit. The other part of me is like, do these people really care? Because I wasn't like, yeah, I had friends in high school and, there were a bunch of us together and all of that, but like, I wouldn't sit there and go, yeah, she remembers me from high school. Yeah, she remembers me from high school. No, I know he does too. Like, I don't, so I just am like, nah, I don't. Yeah. And who I am now is just a much healthier version of myself, including all of my neuroses, that I don't necessarily need to go down that road for myself.
And that is, in my mind, a third position. Right?
Yeah.
There's the first of, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back. This is going to be so fun. I'm excited.
Right.
Then there's, I'm completely adverse. I do not want to go. Either I don't want to go because high school was terrible and I do not want to revisit it, or I don't want to go because I'm embarrassed about who I am and I'm not comfortable in my own skin and I don't want those people to see that I'm no longer a head football player or...
Right. I peaked in high school, so I don't really need to go back.
Right. So I don't want to go back. But this third place of... ambivalence.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need it. It would be fun if I could make it happen, sure, but I don't need to go. I also am not adverse to going. I'm just not going to make that kind of effort to travel multiple states to go see people I haven't seen in 20 years.
Right.
That's to me, that's a very different position than I'm not going. But the reason I bring this up is not just because I'm excited about it.
Okay.
But because I want to empower our listeners to look at where they are and label their successes.
I like it. That's a great idea.
Because I am telling you, if 17-year-old me knew, or 18-year-old me knew 38-year-old me, she would not be impressed. She would say, excuse me, what? You are still living in Texas? What? You have been married twice? What? You drive a Subaru?
Oh, dear.
Because I am so proud of who I am, and I am so comfortable with where I am in life. And I look at the tragedies and the hard things that I have made it through, and I say, you know what? I'm proud of this. Mm-hmm. And I want to go back, and I want to look at 17-year-old me and say, that was fun, but now it's done. Like, I am a different person, and I am living the best years of my life right now in my 30s, and they're only going to get better as we move forward. And you also can live the best years of your life right now. Just decide that you are.
I am just picturing you holding, like, you have like a rose bouquet in your arms right now, and you are just like throwing out a rose to every single person. Like, you get one and you get one, and you're just like, I love this so much. It's very, very empowering and very positive. And
can it be glitter? Can I just be like throwing glitter on people?
I think people hate glitter.
Well, I'm telling you this because when I was 17 and I was drum major, I used to throw glitter during my salute.
Oh, stop it. Oh my gosh, you are the most extra person.
Yard line, and they would say, drum majors, is your band ready? And I would throw glitter.
Wow. I think we would have been friends, but I also have a hard time. I would have been like, it's so, oh my gosh, she's so
we would
cringy.
have been friends. Right. We would have been friends when no one else was around.
Right. I would have
You would have been like, okay, yeah, I can hang with you on Sunday, but like Friday night, we don't know each other.
I don't know you at the game because otherwise I'm going to turn beet red and I'm just going to be so embarrassed. Yeah, just the cringe. I'm cringing now.
Girl.
I'm cringing right now. Like that. I can't.
I wore a ball gown that was black, but it shimmered blue.
Stop it. No.
Yes.
No. Mm-mm.
And opera length gloves.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did. 18-year-old me.
And a cape.
14 through 18-year-old me is like cringing so hard right now. I just can't. Oh my gosh.
And white go-go boots.
Oh my word. What is this? Yes, cringe. But I love it. You're owning it. That's so great. I mean, there's a lot of things that I did where I'm like, is that cringy? Probably. I mean, I sang. I was in the 2 theater productions. I was in the musicals and stuff. I loved that kind of thing. At the same time, it wasn't like my thing. I don't think people thought it was my thing. Right. I think my thing was like being a nerd, like being uber smart or something, and people just assumed that I was going to do really well academically, and that was like what people thought of me. But I don't really know because the people that I still talk to from high school, I don't ask those questions, and the rest of the people from high school I don't talk to.
Right. And I graduated with over 400 people. I went to a giant high school.
Me too.
And I am still in contact with, let me say, like maybe half a dozen of them.
Yeah, that's probably true.
If we count like who I'm Facebook friends with and like know their life story, it's more. Mm-hmm. But like interacting with and really friends with, I would say somewhere between 6 and 10.
That's actually kind of a lot. I mean, I had especially senior year, like I had a pretty core group of friends that it was like, there were 10 of us, 5 boys, 5 girls, and we like hung out together all the time. But of that crew, I think I regularly only talk to one of the guys. And it's probably like once or twice a month. And that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's cool that you're doing that. And then the other people that I'm talking to are a couple of high school girlfriends who I went to a wedding last year. And, we were together there. And then there were 2 other amazing, beautiful high school people who happened to be at this wedding as well. And it was amazing to see all of them. But again, I hadn't seen those women since high school. So it was like,
right.
You know, it was great to see them, and I love them, and I will absolutely be better about keeping in touch. My bad, Tanisha and Aisha, I love you. But I also, you know, they aren't as close to me. It's just the way it is. I'm probably closer to the friends I've made in the past 5 or 6 years than I am to anyone from high school.
Exactly. So that to me is the exciting part. Like, who am I going to rediscover? Who's going to rediscover me? Or if I come home having made no connections, I went back to my alma mater and I yelled, "Let's go Buffs." And it was great. And that's it.
I love it. You clearly have some expectations about what this is going to be for you, but you're able to manage them.
Guess who I'm bringing as a date?
I don't know. I'm thinking your husband, but I don't know.
Abby, my 10-year-old daughter.
Oh, I love it. That's so great. Yeah. That would be wonderful. And it would be really fun for her to see that part of you too.
Not that I'm not proud of my husband, but
my obsessions are so much more trivial. And I always feel like such a surface level person when we do this, but this is just the truth. So, if you know me, you know that I have an issue with plants, and I love them, but I'm not very good at keeping them alive. So I do have a plant baby, and I've named her Tina because when I got her, she was in a blue pot.
All right. So she's named Tina after Bob's Burgers. So I just had to.
So she had a dark blue pot, and now she has a light blue pot because I just repotted her. But for a while, she looked like she was twerking because she was so bendy. But look at how big she is. She's like over a foot tall. When I got her, she was like 5 or 6 inches, and now she's
oh my gosh,
so big. And I had to get one of those poles because she was twerking really, really hard, and I was worried that her stem was gonna break. So I got one of those poles to support her, like what you put like an orchid on. You know what I mean? So there's that. So Tina's one thing that I am obsessed with, and I'm hoping that my other succulents don't die, but. She's doing really well. And then also these sunglasses that I just got from Amazon.
Oh my gosh, they're so great.
Mm-hmm. You can see my ring light very clearly in the lenses. I can see yours too.
You can see mine in my blue blocker.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
these are my regular prescription glasses.
I love these sunglasses, and I got them so inexpensive on the A to Z website, and I'll put the link here. But they're super cute. They're super cute. But I'll put the link up, so if you want to see what I have, you can take a look at them because they're super cute and they look good on everyone. I haven't seen like any faces that they look bad on, so that's good. Those are my obsessions.
That is good.
Yeah.
All right. So, our toilet.
Let me put this out there. These are our gems, and you're talking about your toilet.
Right. These are our gems. If you are new to the show, this is the part where we get to tell you something that is either like so amazing that everyone goes ooh and ah, or it is so, to use a word as the kids use, cringy, that you go ooh and ah. At least that's not me.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. This is what gets sent out into the universe and goes viral.
Okay.
Our toilet leaked for 24 hours. Water was coming out. It's all over the bathroom floor. Clean water, because it's from the tank.
Right, but still.
But there's water everywhere. Okay? This is the tweet. My toilet leaked for 24 hours. Thank God my kids are lazy and just throw their towels on the floor.
Seriously.
We had piles of dirty towels on the floor because I refused to pick them up.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
The kids can do it. And now they absorbed all the water from the leak. It was so easy to clean up.
Oh. It's so awful. The toilet, like, water issues give me anxiety to the point where I literally cannot stop thinking about it, and I will shake with fear. Like, it just, anytime. I mean, and I know you can just turn it off. Okay, but, like, I'm afraid I'm going to screw something up. So I am terrified.
This one was easy. It was very easy diagnosable because when we walked in and saw the leak, we saw where the water's coming from. The handle attaches through a hole in the tank.
Yes,
and
it
the tank
does.
is made of porcelain,
right?
And so rubber gasket that worked on the handle had just broken and water was leaking through the tank, through the hole where the handle is. So we just have to replace the handle. It was very easy to do, very easy to fix, easy to diagnose. We didn't have to call a plumber. We didn't have to worry about it.
That's
and
nice.
Again, even though the water had been running for several hours and there's water all over, the towels, the lazy kids took care of the problem.
Don't say that out loud too many times, because at some point they're going to throw that back in your face. Mom, remember that time I didn't pick up the towels and it was actually a good thing? And you're going to have to hear about it.
No. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no.
No. I have served it to them on a silver platter because this is getting recorded. They can just play the track back.
Yeah. Mom.
Thank God my kids are lazy and left their towels on the floor. Thank God my kids are lazy and left their towels on the floor. Thank God my kids are lazy and left their towels on the floor.
Shut up. Make it stop. Milano cookies. Yes?
Yes.
So good, right? Somebody in my house, who shall remain nameless, ate half of one. Who eats half a Milano cookie? I ask you.
Wait, what? Okay, now I have to ask. Was it bite half of both the top and the bottom, or separate it Oreo style and eat the top and leave the bottom?
Can you do that with a Milano? Can you separate the halves like that?
Oh, if it's a little melty and there's some twisting, yeah.
They're so crumbly, though. I don't know. But no, it was
mom's
like...
so crumbly.
Thanks?
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure how much my mom listens, but I'm sure she did not appreciate that joke. No, somebody like broke it in half, put half of it back in the jar, and the other half it was eaten, I guess. Who eats half a Milano? I don't understand. Help me understand this.
Either.
It's a small cookie. You don't need just a half. You can eat the whole thing. You might as well.
You can.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Also, they just they released their pumpkin spice Milano, so if you're into that, they're
I've
okay.
never even heard of that.
They're okay.
Today,
I wouldn't write home about it.
I wore my Little Miss Pumpkin Spice sweatshirt into Starbucks and ordered a pumpkin spice latte.
I have a real issue with people who like talk about how basic that is. It's like, listen, one, it's basic for a reason because everyone likes them, so they're clearly popular and it's not just me, right? Two, can we just stop shaming people for liking things? Like, just let me have my pumpkin spice and my little bit of joy that it brings me. Just shut up about it. Like, who cares? I'm glad you had one. It's great.
I am a little vain, right?
I
Like
mean,
everyone knows this.
all
about
of
me.
us are
Just
a
like
little
tiny
bit. Right.
And I'm like a weird vain because I don't care that my hair is in a messy bun and I'm wearing a dog bandana on my head because I like the colors of it.
Which are also pumpkin
but-
spice colored, by the way.
Right. It matched the sweatshirt.
Right.
I did not want to order the same drink as my sweatshirt in person. I tried to do a pre-order so I could just like walk in and pick it up and go and leave, but they weren't taking pre-orders at this Starbucks because it was already too busy. So I did have to walk in. I said, you know what?
Forget it.
A la 20-year reunion. I am owning this.
Right.
So I walk up there and I look at the barista and I say, I am here to order the drink that matches my shirt.
I love that. Oh my goodness. I love it. I get that. I probably would have been like just embarrassed enough that I would have done the same thing, but you do what you have to do to get your PSL. It's fine. I'm into
That's
it.
right.
You're going to own
That's
it.
right.
Own it all the way.
So I did it. It was fabulous. I enjoyed it. It was the first one of fall.
I've already had two.
So what are these other basic things that we're not supposed to like?
I think like messy buns and like saying things like mama bear and like, you know, just stuff that's like what
Chuggy?
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Like, or, you know, things that are like very Pinteresty from, 10 years ago, right? Like,
like chevron print.
and oversized sweaters with leggings underneath and a big scarf with your hair in curls and all that stuff. Like stuff like that. That's like kind of typical white girl stuff. I think that's
Right,
what we're
right.
referring to when we say basic. But listen, again, the 2020s, the 20s have sucked. Like, let me just get whatever bit of joy I can out of any of my days. And if that means that I have to go get a non-fat PSL with no whip because it takes up too much room in the cup, then I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do it. I don't care.
Yeah. No, no, I'm fine with it. Please.
Yeah. All right. You have any other obsessions that we missed?
Okay, I do have another gem. And this is for anyone who is in a relationship with anyone else.
Okay.
It is starting to rain in Texas.
For the first time
like,
in
I don't even know, like
months.
3 or 4 years. So naturally, also coming out with the rain, besides green plants and earthworms, are door-to-door roofers.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So they ring the doorbell. Have you had your roof inspected? We're here in the neighborhood doing blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so John is tired of these roofers ringing the doorbell. Mostly because he works from home, right? I'm at school all day.
Yeah.
So if they ring the doorbell at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that's the first time I've heard the doorbell ring. He, on the other hand, has probably had to deal with 2 or 3 salesmen that day. So he said, I think we should get a no soliciting sign.
Okay.
And I said, no, we are not getting a no soliciting sign. I said, what happens if one of the neighborhood kids is selling Girl Scout cookies or doing a fundraiser for their sports team or their marching band? I want to support these kids. And he says, when's the last time a kid rang the doorbell?
Oh, fair point.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Probably pre-COVID.
Halloween. Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween. The next day, he takes Abigail to the park to throw the football around because she's playing flag football this fall.
Oh my gosh, I love her. That's a different story. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, let's sidebar that one though, because it's really funny. When John registered her, he said, I signed up to be an assistant coach. And I was like, you mean head coach? And he said, no, I clicked assistant coach. And I looked at him and I said, there's no assistant coaches. They just have that as an option so people will volunteer. Then they're going to call you and say, hey,
no one signed up to be head coach. Yeah. Oops. You're bad.
Then he calls me like a week later and he's like, guess who I just got off the phone with? Who's going to be Abby's head coach? I was like, yeah, you. I knew this.
Yeah. That's not a surprise.
There are no assistant coaches, man.
No, that happened on my son's t-ball team. That's what happened to my husband and his 2 friends, and all of the kids were together, and one of them said he would be team dad, and one of them said he would be an assistant coach, and then no one signed up to be head coach. So Coach Carson was born.
Yes, exactly. So anyhow, Friday night he says nobody rings our doorbell. Saturday morning he takes Abigail to the park to throw the ball around, and the doorbell rings while I'm at home.
Yeah.
And it is a kid in basketball shorts and a football jersey. And I am ecstatic. I'm so excited. I was like, I don't even know what he's selling, but I'm buying it. So I open the door and I'm in my pajamas. My hair's a mess. I'm holding back the German Shepherd because she's so excited. Not aggressive, wants to go outside and lick his face off.
Right.
And I'm just like, I am so happy you're here. Okay. We got these discount cards. And they're $25. And they go to pay, and I was like, I know, they pay for your football team.
Oh my God. I hate those cards so much. I hate all student fundraiser. I hate it.
It is worthless. It's 10% off queso.
Right. It's to places that no one goes. It's Mimi's Cafe or something. You're I don't go there. What? Oh.
And it's buy one, get one half off oil changes.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
No, it's amazing. It is completely worthless. I probably should have just given him a $25 donation because that will go further than the card. But
you needed the card as evidence that someone showed up to your door.
Yes. So then he calls his buddy over. He's like, Caleb, come over here. This lady's going to buy from me. I need your Venmo code. So the other guy comes over, and I'm telling the second guy, oh my gosh, my husband said that no one sells anything anymore, and I'm so happy. The 2 of them are laughing just as hysterically as I am once they figure out the story.
That's amazing.
They realize they have just stepped into the perfect story.
Yeah.
This lady is buying it.
Right.
Even if they sell no other discount cards today, they get to go home and say, we proved some guy wrong.
Yeah, and I think also you might have unlocked one of those core memories at that point. Like, they're going to be, like, 32 walking around with their kid who's in Cub Scouts, and it's going to be like, remember that time that we went to that lady's house and she was, like, super stoked to buy a card from us, and it was, like, a worthless card that we had to do for football? It's going to be like, they're going to remember that for a long time. That's really funny.
And meanwhile, the local high school has a banner that says our address, will buy anything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I love it.
And it was all taped on the Ring doorbell. So I was, like, ready to show him the video.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. See? Look, I have receipts.
2 kids. 2 in football jerseys.
Also, by the way, you're out $50.
And
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
I got 1 card for each of us. We can have it in our wallets. It'll be fine. We'll always have one everywhere we go. That's hysterical.
Free napkin with purchase.
It really is what it feels like, too. It's awful.
Oh, no, they're completely
Remember
weird.
entertainment books? They're like the same thing.
Okay, no. The entertainment books were like $30, and there was always at least one free something in there.
That's fair.
Like free something.
But it was like
right?
300
So
pages to rifle through. Who's doing that?
Yes. But my parents, they bought those entertainment books, and they would put them in the glove compartment.
Smart.
So when we were driving around, like, oh, where should we go to dinner or something? They would flip open the entertainment book and say, okay, well, where can we go with a coupon? Mm-hmm. These little cards.
Yeah, no, that's not worth it.
I'm like,
you
really?
supported a kid. That's the best part. You're right.
That's
Just give him
it.
$25.
All right. Y'all know CK and GK love to support fellow indie podcasts. So here's another show you might really love.
I'm Madam Chris.
And I'm Madam Amy.
And we're the hosts of the Madams Podcast, where it's all about movies, minus the mansplaining.
Every week, we discuss a film that fits into a quirky theme for the month.
And there's plenty of bonus content on our Patreon feed, too.
So if you're looking for commentary that'll make you laugh and think, you found your new favorite show.
New episodes of The Madams drop on Mondays, wherever you get your podcasts.
And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at The Madams Pod, or on our website, themadamspod.com.
Thanks for listening to our friends. Back to the show.
Okay, so this week we are jumping on the TikTok trend.
That is like old. It's an older trend now, but we're doing it
It's
anyway.
an old. Okay, well,
It's fine. We're gonna do it because
give me a break. I'm an old lady. I'm
don't-
Gen X. I have to wait till everything's old and it's on Facebook. Anyhow, the old trend is this theme of videos that 5 or 10 or 20 things I would never do because I am an X profession.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so today, to build the education triad, we are going to help you connect student to teacher to parent or grown-up, guardian, family, whatever term applies to you as an adult in a student's life.
And specifically, I think what we're doing here is we're going to try and bridge that gap between educator and parent. Like, this is
Right.
It's 3 people who are involved in the learning of a child. It's the child, the teacher, and the parent. And so oftentimes there's a good relationship between the teacher and the student and the parent. And then the parent and the educator are the ones who are either unaware of each other or at odds or don't have an understanding of each other, whatever it is.
Right. And more than anything, it's just these teachers have anywhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 125 kids with whom they're trying to connect families. And you, as a parent, have anywhere in the neighborhood from one teacher to, 16 or 30, depending on how many kids you have. Mm-hmm. And you're just trying to figure out how you connect with teachers. Mm-hmm. And so we are going to help you connect with teachers by giving you the non-examples.
Right. The things I would never.
The top 10 things I would never do after serving as a classroom teacher.
Yes.
Number 10. Buy the wrong school supplies. Y'all, it's actually better to wait. Let the teacher know you could not find the yellow folder with Brad's than to buy the orange folder and send it in.
Yeah. There's a reason why the teacher wants yellow. If you have multiple children, you might understand this probably pretty well. It's to eliminate that whole, she has this and I don't have that, and then it gets confusing, right? Like, I don't have a yellow folder, so which one of my other brightly colored folders should I use? So there's that piece of it, right? And there was a conversation that came up about crayons, like which box of crayons to buy. And I think actually that I saw this online, but I also had this conversation in my personal life. And the question was, I can't find the box of 16 crayons. I don't know why that's the specific one. And the answer is because when that teacher says, I need you to pull out your red crayon, and if you have a box of 24 crayons, there could be 3 different colors of red. And now the child is like, but which one do I use? And if it's just the same across the board for every single kid, you bought the brand that you were asked to buy, you bought the exact same size you were supposed to buy, the teacher also has that in hand and can pull that out and go, find the one that says sunshine. And that's going to be the crayon we're all going to use to draw the sun. And everyone is on the same page and there's no conflict about it. That's the reason.
Right. As your child becomes older, particularly in middle school, and then going into high school, if a teacher requests a specific item, it's because they are going to teach the child how to use that item.
Exactly.
I, as a math teacher, am thinking of a graphing calculator. Oh. If they tell you that you need the TI 83 plus means it archives. That's a shout out to my mom for making fun of me in high school for wanting that calculator for Christmas, which she did buy it for me. So it's
like
okay.
a $200 calculator. You have to, yeah. Oh man.
No. She was making not the price. It was, that's what you want, a calculator.
Like, yeah, nerd it up, girl. And it had Tetris on it. It's fine.
Yeah. So, right. But if they're telling you that that's the specific brand and model of calculator, it's because they're going to use the calculator as a tool to teach math.
Right.
And they don't want the tool to get in the way of the math. So they're going to teach everybody the same procedures and understanding of the calculator as a tool, and then further the math by not letting the tool get in the way of that.
A composition notebook. It's not the same as a spiral, and I'm speaking as someone who used a composition notebook and a spiral at different times in my education career, and I will tell you there's a reason behind the specificity there. So I would never buy the wrong school supplies. And if your school does a thing, like my son's school does a thing where it's like you can buy all of the school supplies in a bundle, and it's what the teachers have listed, do it. It's cheaper. It's cheaper, and it's easier for you. Just do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Check. All right.
What else would you never do?
Things I would never do as someone who has served as a classroom teacher. Number 9, assume that it's okay to bring birthday treats.
Right? Especially now in the era of COVID, I think people are a little bit more mindful of this. People are also talking about, food sensitivities. These are concerns. But if you are going to assume that everyone in the class can have the cupcakes, we all know what happens when you assume. Don't do that. Don't do that. And there's a couple of reasons why, right?
At least you assumed cupcakes.
Oh, no, I've had kids bring cake.
They bring an entire cake.
The cake, yeah.
And they say, oh, do you have a knife? Oh, do you have plates? Oh, do you have fork?
Middle school children bringing in an entire cake, and they'll carry it around like all day long, and they're like, I bet I could have it in this person's class. And then they'll come to you and they're like, it's my birthday, can I have the cake? No, you did. No, I didn't know. I didn't plan for this. I'm supposed to be teaching you something. I'm trying to keep every kid on the same page. Like, no, we're not stopping to do cake. I'm not a restaurant supply store. Like, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it, at least send like paper plates and stuff along with it. But like, don't just assume that I'm going to just take all of my napkins or all of my paper towels out of my, sink area and use them.
Tissues.
Tissues. Oh, it is tissues. Or like all of the Clorox wipes that I purchased with my own money and now I have to use to clean up all the frosting that happened to get everywhere when the tissues didn't work to clean it up.
And then there's that mob of kids that follow the cake kid around.
Oh, God.
Can I have some? Can I have some? Can I have some? Can I have some? Yeah.
Oh, I've also seen the kids who have the cake and then they do have forks but nothing to serve it on. So then the kids just all have a fork and they walk around and they're all just taking it off of the cake. Oh my gosh. It was horrible. Never again. Never, ever,
All right,
ever again.
So let me teach you how to celebrate your child's birthday at school.
Yeah.
Okay. First, a week in advance, email the teacher and ask about the birthday policy.
Yes.
Ask, do you celebrate at school? If you do, how do you do it? What is the number of treats I need to send in? Should they be individually wrapped? Should they be prepared at a store?
Can they be
Or
food
can
at
I
all?
Make them at home?
Can they be food at all?
Let the teacher tell you that.
Yeah.
Now, you only do this email procedure if after you have read the handbook and syllabus and all of the other documents that have gone home and you did not see something about a birthday party.
Right. Otherwise, go look there first. And do that anyway.
Okay.
Just go look.
When my daughter was in kindergarten was the best birthday celebration procedure I have ever seen at any school ever. Her teachers were amazing.
Okay.
They, instead of doing treats and a party and da-da-da-da, when it was your birthday, you got to invite someone to come and read to the class.
Oh, that's cute. I love that idea.
Right. So the kid could choose if it was going to be parent, grandparent, friend, aunt, uncle, a teacher from another class or whatever. And they got to say why this person is important. And then that person would read a book to the class.
I love that. That's super cute.
It was adorable.
I also want to caution the class birthday party thing. If you're going to invite people from class to a birthday party, again, check the handbook and ask about the birthday party policy, because those can, especially at younger ages, those can be a little hurtful if the whole class isn't invited. So I realize that, you may not be made of money, and I understand that completely. I am just, make sure you refer back to that policy. I know at my son's school, you do need to invite the entire class. If you're having a birthday party and you invite anyone from school, you need to invite everyone from school. I would never, as a former educator, now parent, assume that I know the birthday party policy, assume that I know the birthday celebration policy in the classroom.
There you go. All right.
Number 8.
Things I would never do after serving as a classroom teacher.
Extra.
Number 8. Believe my elementary or middle school child when they said they have done all their homework. Ask the kid to show you the work.
Right.
You're the parent.
Right.
Say, great. I'm so glad you're done. Show me what you did.
Let's talk about it. Right. And you might not have time. This doesn't need to be everything, but like the whole, wait, what? I've been told that they've been doing their homework 4 weeks into school is so tired. Like, it's so tired, right?
You know that there's a way for you to see what assignments are due. You know there's a way for you to access that. And if you are struggling to access it because it's nuts and different teachers use different platforms and you had to learn something in 3rd grade that's different than what you're doing in 4th grade, I get you. It's a headache. It's terrible. And I know how hard that is.
Learn it.
You gotta learn the system. You gotta learn the system. Figure out how to check what's coming up and look at your kid and say, okay, you are supposed to have a report on the Phantom Toll booth done on Thursday. I want to see what you've done.
Right. And don't...
Not, how are you doing?
Right.
Not, are you close?
Right.
Not, oh, you've already turned it in?
Lies. It's all lies. Yeah. It's all lies. And you might have a really responsible child who is like me and highly anxious and like will do the homework. I get that piece. But even asking that child lets them know that you are invested in it and you're not just trusting them to do it. You are going to actually take a moment to have a conversation with them about it. They know you're going to check up on them. And there is a reassurance that comes from that. Having someone check in and go, well, let's see. Just show me what you're doing. Because there is power in that conversation, both for the child in terms of explaining to you what's happening in the classroom and what they're learning. And for you as a parent, it's an opportunity for you to connect with your child and not be caught with the, I had no idea. Like,
yeah. And I can't tell you how many times as a teacher facilitating a student parent teacher conference. And again, you heard student in the conference because I'm a big fan of including students in conversations about their learning. But I can't tell you how many times in those types of meetings, I would look at a kid and say, your dad's allowed to ask to see your homework. He's your dad.
Right. You're 12.
And you don't need,
right.
You don't need to put up a fight.
Right.
And you don't need to say you're smothering me. And no, he's allowed to ask to see it.
Right.
And you're only looking like you haven't done it if you press back and say, I don't want to show you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It looks like you're done and you're not proud because you rushed through it, or you're not done at all.
Yeah.
All right.
The key word there is show me.
Things I would never do as after serving as a classroom teacher number 7. Send an email. Send an email to a teacher after 6 p.m. Now, I emphasize the word send because you can type that email at 9:30 if you want. You can type that email at 2 a.m. But don't hit send after the workday is over.
No, I actually, as a teacher, I would set boundaries and say, like, you can email me after this time, but I do not expect an answer after 5 o'clock. The anxiety that I got from having an email in my inbox that hit at like 7:30 at night, it was enough to keep me awake for hours. For hours and hours and hours. It doesn't matter what it's about.
And if this is an email that addresses a conflict, whether it be a conflict that you as an adult have about something that's happening in the classroom, or it's responding to a conflict that the student and the teacher have, it doesn't matter. If it is an email that addresses a conflict and it does not involve an emergency, this is an email that you need to read again hours later.
Yep. Yeah, don't fire it off when you're mad.
Even if the teacher sent something hideous because she was hot at 3:30 and sent something that was unkind and not responsive and not thinking about the child, you can be better than that.
Yep.
And you can respond, but don't hit send.
Yeah, and
either use a scheduler to have it sent at 7:30 so it shows up in her inbox that morning, or look at it again that morning when you wake up and say, okay, I actually can make her look even worse because I can be cool, calm, and collected and respond so kindly and so sickeningly sweet. But don't use the power of email after the work day.
Teachers who have the discipline to not look at their work email when it's on their phone after a certain hour is something else. And honestly, a teacher will open it, he or she will read it, they will read it, and they will go, oh my gosh, and it will be an anxiety causing thing. And if it's an issue with homework, I would say you can absolutely draft that email, notify the teacher this is what happened. So-and-so worked on it for 45 minutes. We both don't understand. We're both so confused, and please excuse this situation, and we'll, if you can coach that person through it, then we'll talk about it and we'll get the homework done. My apologies. Something like that is totally acceptable. Just right. But the expectation of a response anytime after 5 p.m. is pretty unfair. Frankly, after 4:30 is probably pretty unfair for a lot of teachers, especially ones who have children in their own lives. And it's just don't send it. Just don't send it. Please use an email scheduler. It's just so much more kind. Or at least say, I don't expect a response right away.
Oh, dude, that's the same thing.
Yeah. I understand you're out. I'm putting this here now. I don't expect a response from you. Please catch up on what you need to do. And when you have the bandwidth for this, please respond at that point. But I don't expect an answer from you right away. That's an absolutely fine way to do that.
Number 6. Request a conference without sending specific questions or concerns so the teacher can prepare for the meeting.
Ding, 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 ding. All the anxiety panic alarms are going off right now. Oh my gosh. The emails that were
Have you ever made a doctor's appointment and had the reason for the appointment be want to talk to doctor?
Or your doctor says,
no.
I'm going to call you back and talk about your results. What? Anxiety, right? It's panic. You're instantly freaking out. Or if you are a parent who works in a corporate setting and your boss goes, hey, can you pop by my office tomorrow? I'd love to chat with you about something. And they say something and they don't clarify what it is. What's your first thought?
I'm fired.
Yeah. Please be specific.
A lot of times things can be resolved pretty easily via email or phone call and don't require you coming up to school. There are many reasons to have a conference. If you come to the conference without the teacher knowing the agenda, they aren't ready.
Right.
Not just are they sitting there marinating in anxiety, oh my gosh, I don't even know what's wrong. You now have set up for a second conference.
Right, because they're not ready to answer you.
And you've told me X, Y, and Z, and I say, oh my goodness, you're right. Those are real problems. The problem is I actually have to talk to the science teacher to get the information about that.
Absolutely.
I wish that you had told me ahead of time and I could have pulled her into this meeting.
Mm-hmm. Or at least gotten some notes from her that I could then show you and or read out loud at something. Right. There's prep work that goes into these. That's why parent-teacher conferences are scheduled the way that they are, because it's an opportunity for you to talk and the teacher has done the legwork to be prepared for all those conferences with those parents and families. So, yes.
Number 5. Also, relating to conferences.
Yes.
Attempting to have one during carpool.
And or back to school night.
Dude, yes. No.
These are hard no's.
I don't even need to explain this. If the teacher has another duty at the same time, you don't get a conference.
No.
If you go to your doctor's office and he is seeing another patient, you don't get to walk in and say, hey, but I have a cough. All right. Moving on. Number 4. Sign documents without reading them / ignoring emails from teachers.
Especially at the beginning of the year, all those communications are usually about these other things, like here's back to school night. Here's when you can have a conference with me. These are my conference periods if you need to have a phone call. This is what time of day I'll be able to answer your emails. This is the supplies that I need. Here's how you log in and see your kids' grades. Don't ignore that stuff. Come on now.
This is how we celebrate birthdays.
Exactly. Oh, goodness.
I will tell you that as a classroom teacher, I had about 45 minutes a day that was not scheduled. And if I am spending that 45 minutes composing a message to go out to families, it is because it is a message that I think you will value. Mm-hmm. I don't want to send something frivolous.
No. Yeah.
It's because I'm hoping that you're going to read it. Things I would never do after serving as a classroom teacher. Number 3. Contact or carbon copy the principal on an email before going to the teacher first. The principal might be livid about the information that you were providing to her.
Yep.
But she also wonders why you didn't go to the teacher first. Because the first thing she has to do with that email is walk down the hall to the teacher and say, can you contact this parent regarding this email I just got?
Exactly. And I will say I have done the email that goes to the teacher and the counselor. But when you go to the principal,
you're not tattletelling.
Right. No, this was me wanting like an opportunity for some sort of additional support. I was not trying to rat out the teacher. the number of times that this happened to me as an educator.
And there are all kinds of ways that teachers mess up. Please, I've done it myself.
Oh, many times. We've talked about the one where I threw a marker at a kid. Right. It was all in good fun, but it still could have gotten me in trouble.
Right. Come to me and tell me, GK, you missed the mark on this one.
Yeah.
Or, GK, I am so angry with you.
Mm-hmm.
I am so angry with what was reported to me that my child experienced in your classroom. I completely disagree with what happened, and we have got to work this out.
Yeah.
But and I'm also going to email the principal about this because I'm so mad. At least let me know.
Right. You can forward my response. That's totally fine. And certainly if there's some sort of egregious harm done to a child, we're talking like, the worst possible things, abuse of a position of trust sort of situation. That's a different thing.
Right. Number 2, attempt to pick up my child either early or drop them off late without going through the main office. Y'all, this is a safety thing. You cannot take a kid without letting the office know.
Your school is charged with your child's safety. And in light of recent events that have happened both in Texas and across the country, teachers are under more scrutiny than ever when it comes to keeping children safe.
We all want to be the best parent that we can to our kid.
Right.
And so the motivation behind Meet Me at the Gym is, number 1, it's easier on parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just
go.
You don't have to park. You
Right.
don't have to go in, sign in, show your ID, da-da-da. You don't have to do all that.
Right.
But also it's faster for the kid.
Right.
Right? Because then they don't have to wait for you to have the office call them from class and come down and da-da-da.
Absolutely.
And I get it. But what you've actually done is now put a 14-year-old in between teacher and parent.
Yep.
Because they're saying, look, my aunt said I can just meet her right here at the gym.
Exactly.
She's waiting for me.
Right.
And we have to say, no, you can't do that.
Right.
You can't go.
Yeah.
And now they are playing between two authorities in their life, dealing with, I now have to go back and give my parent, aunt, guardian, whoever it is, I have to give them this bad news that I can't follow their plan.
There's a way to get around this. If you have to leave early or you have to drop off late, you notify the school the day before. And I will say, my apologies, there's an appointment at this time. And then when you're 15 minutes away, you call the school and you say, hey, can you please send Tom, Dick, and Harry down to the office because I'm going to go pick them up early. And then the school will track down where those children are, notify the teacher, and the teacher will send them to the office. That's totally fine. It happens. Sometimes your orthodontist appointments have to be scheduled in the middle of the afternoon. We get that, right? But it's not okay to insist that a school keep your child safe and then break protocols that are put in place to keep your child safe.
Right.
Can you tell I'm getting heated?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm heated about this. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Things I would never do after serving as a classroom teacher.
So loud.
Number 1.
We are going to have to fix the sound on that one. Okay, go for it.
Say, my child would never. Because my child would. And so would yours.
Yeah, my child for sure would. So I know that yours would too. And the way that your child, believe it or not, the way that your child behaves in front of you is very different from the way that your child behaves at school, right? Some kids are holy terrors at home and angels at school. Some are the opposite, right? Holy terrors at school and angelic at home. So the idea that your child would never push a boy into the girls' bathroom, which is why I went into the office when I was a kid. The idea that those things would never happen, they would happen. Think about yourself as a kid. Think about the things that you did. Surely you broke some rules and you crossed some boundaries. So just...
And
Keep that out of your vocabulary.
You might have a fantastic, well-behaved, follows all of the rules type kid. Okay? I have 2 children. I have the kid that I wish I could be when I grow up.
Yeah.
She's so well-behaved, and she would never. But I'm telling you, this kid, this wonderful child, bit someone in preschool. And the reason she bit someone is because that other kid wasn't cleaning up properly.
That's amazing.
So to say my child would never act up, my child would never, guess what? She would. And maybe her motivation is good, right?
Right.
She wanted that other girl to clean up. It was time to clean up.
Yeah.
But at 4 years old, didn't have another tool. And so she bit her. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter that it was cleanup time. We now have to deal with my would never child is biting people at school.
Right. Mine dragged a fork across the little girl's back twice. So, like during lunchtime,
Right.
I think it just wanted to see what he would do. We don't know the motivation, but it did happen. And so you are allowed to be shocked and horrified by what your child would do or
Absolutely.
did do.
And they did. And you know what? Tomorrow's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they won't again.
Right. Right.
I cannot speak for all teachers, right? We know that there are police who are great, and we know that there are police who are not.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that there are educators out there who have a heart in it, and we know that there are those who don't. But a good and kind and true teacher is surprised when those things happen, but hopeful that they won't happen twice.
And probably the next day, if they're hopeful that they won't happen twice, probably the next day that teacher is going to go, "It's so good to see you today. And today is a new day." I used to say that to my kids all the time. Today's a new day. Let's move on from that.
Right.
And also, to be clear, I'm learning these things as I go too, right? As a parent, it's a very different viewpoint than it is as a classroom teacher. And I'm experiencing that for the first time. And so I'm not going to sit here and say I've done this all correctly, but I am going to say that I am going to lead with this mentality that we've listed out here first.
And I will tell you that some of the greatest parent relationships I've had have been the parents of some of the most challenging students.
Oh, for sure.
I've
Absolutely.
had. Because when you know that those parents are on your side and that everybody is working towards bettering that child and helping them grow up to be a beautiful, productive, kind member of society, you're working towards a common goal.
Right. It changes your perspective of the kid too, right? Like, it's no longer a contentious relationship. You have an additional outpouring of empathy and kindness and patience and support that you are willing to extend. It's, that's the whole love is not a candy bar situation, right? Like, the more you're shown, the more you have to give. And it's just respecting the teacher in these ways is so, so, so valuable for your child to see. They're learning from you. So honoring that person and honoring that relationship is going to be really, really important.
You know what else you could honor? Our Patreon. Are you on our list?
Nice. Very nice. Are you on our list? Very nice.
Okay. So here's what you're going to do. Okay. You're actually listening to us on your phone right now. So you're going to put your phone in your hand. You are going to go to all of the places where you pod, and you are going to hit those stars. You are going to write a little review. You are going to share. You are going to subscribe. You are going to go to our website and read our blog. And you are going to tell the world that you have completely changed as a person, that you are a better version of yourself because CK and GK have spoken goodness into your life.
You're the 20-year reunion version of yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Put on the dress. Throw the glitter.
Glitter snap.
Do it. Make good choices.
And use your gift cards. And get the right school supplies, because it helps. Okay, bye!
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.